All right, folks. Good morning. Welcome to Sports Ball Talk. We're going to have a great Saturday of sports ball.
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
So, first of all, I think we should talk about the fact that I believe Brian is, if we're going with total picks, he is 0-6 now for the week, I believe.
Shots fired early this morning.
I had some faith. It was misplaced.
I'm just saying, I called them Sun Devils at least, Although the Florida State game, that's a wild one. I don't think anyone was really thinking it was going to turn out that way. That was,
man,
you like to be surprised.
That was something, wasn't it? I mean, oh my goodness.
I don't think Florida State like to be surprised.
Yeah, that was like a cold hand in prison in the middle of the night. It was like, ugh, bad surprise.
Yeah, that's a big rough one for you. But like I said, that's what you like to see, and that's certainly
what makes it fun.
Maybe it puts some of those wins they had in a little bit more perspective, gives you a little bit broader view of the landscape. And for anybody out there who might be a little younger listening, back in the old days, this is what we used to call Separation Saturday, back when you really had to be undefeated to be relevant and matter. And this is the week that usually determines and where you really are starting to see where your tier 1, your tier 2, and then the others are in terms of college football. And this looks to be what we're going to get this weekend. I mean, we got several great matchups. We'll probably check in at halftime for a lot of these throughout the day. So come in and out, folks, whenever you want. We're happy to provide coverage on that. Brian, since you're on the hot streak right now, why don't you go ahead and start it off and give us your setup for the day?
Oh man, I should whatever I say, you guys should just do the exact opposite. Apparently, what a week for me. I mean, I had faith in Army. That did not go as planned. It was what a rough one. And then, I mean, not to tangent off what you said, but FSU, who was expecting that, man? I mean, the first 2 turnovers turned into touchdowns for Virginia, and I mean, that was just 14-0 into the second quarter. That's just nobody thought that happened. It's just what a couple days for football. But anyway, let's go ahead and roll into our picks. The games I think we should highlight today, I think there's about 6 of them that are going to be really worth watching. The first one's going to be that 11 a.m. game. It's going to be on Fox. We got USC Trojans, and we got the Fighting Illini.
That'd be the 21 and 23 ranked teams. Number in between there's 22. That'd be Notre Dame. Fun fact. I don't think any of them necessarily deserve those rankings.
That's true. I tend to agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, I don't think anybody, either one of those teams. Maybe USC is the only team out there that I would put any kind of ranking on. I just Notre Dame.
This game will determine. It will actually determine if it's deserved or not. I mean,
I think today USC shows everybody they should be ranked.
So let's talk about that game then. I will say I believe out of the Dude Bro group, I'm the only one that's calling the Illinois upset. I believe that was the Dude's upset of the week here.
Yeah.
And I think that Illinois comes out. It's a battle of who's the worst one out there. And USC takes the title for that. Now, that being said, I would love to see the Trojans go out there and handle business and solidify that ranking that they have and give some credence to somebody over there on the West Coast. Yet another one being in the mix, keeping things very, very interesting. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing that. I see the Illinois overcoming USC and answering a lot of questions, but in a different direction for a lot of people. We'll say the line on that is 7.5 points.
Yeah.
Over under on that was 59.5 points.
Yep.
You still want to keep your thing there? I think you called under on that, but you were saying that the Trojans had that.
Yeah. I do think the Trojans are going to cover that 7.5, and I think we are going to be under though. I think we're going to see a little more defense out of them. I think I touched that on the episode. I don't think the Eleni have done anything to show anybody that they should be ranked. I mean, they're right there with Notre Dame for me as far as I'm concerned with the ranking and all that crud. So, yeah, no, I'm taking USC. I'm still going to take the that they cover, but I am going to go with the under.
Now, I just want to go ahead and put something out there. I think one of my proudest achievements right now might be the fact that you are starting to refer to them as the Elenini and the Eleni and all of that, because that is one of my favorite tropes. But moving on. Oh, quick note on this. As you see, the backdrop changed here. It's homecoming game. It's varsity weekend. And it is a sold-out crowd, which I think is only giving more and more padding there into the Illinois pocket. And I think I'm more and more confident of this. Some of my picks have changed throughout the week. We make our picks in on Mondays, folks.
Yep.
I think some of my picks have kind of lost a little of that confidence factor, but this is one that has absolutely increased.
So you're sticking to your guns, huh? I hear you.
Oh, 100% and more. I'll add a gun to it. I'll throw in some extra shot. Let's go.
What are you thinking, Rista?
I think the Trojans are going to win this game. I don't think they're going to cover. I think it should be tight, and I don't think they're going to. I think it'll be a lot of defense in this as well.
Okay,
right.
right on. Well, let's roll right on into the game I really, really am excited to see, because I just want to see Notre Dame lose. I just want to see them lose. That's all I like to say. And Arkansas has had some close games this year. They just have not been able to finish. I mean, watching Memphis last week and
Heartbreaker.
I wasn't thinking that was going to go that way, but not taking anything away from Memphis, obviously. But yeah, I'm hoping that Arkansas checks in, does their thing today. Sir.
No, I was just going to say, don't take anything away from Memphis. Do not sleep on them. They are absolutely a team to be reckoned with. I think if we were to go for a more regional conference alignment that kind of makes a bit more geographic sense, save some travel dollars, we'll say, I would put Memphis as a contender to join the SEC. Absolutely.
They've been pretty good in the past years, too, building a good program there.
Yeah. I think if we have any realignment, there's no way that Texas and Oklahoma stay in the SEC. So I think that there will be some shoes that absolutely need to be filled. I'm just saying. I mean, that's if we're going for that geographic realignment and still trying to keep some parity, that's the only way to make it work.
Right.
Back on to the predictions here. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah.
Notre
No worries.
Dame, Notre Dame line was what, 6.5 points on that, and let me see what I have written down here. You already said you had the Arkansas Razorbacks.
I did.
You said under. The under was 64.5 points.
Yeah. Yep.
Rista, what are you feeling on this game, my man?
I would take the under here. Like Notre Dame though to win the game.
Okay. Well, that's going to be your 11 a.m. game. That is on ABC, and I will be watching intently. So those are the two we might be popping in on halftime. Definitely, if you want to join us with the chit chat on either one of those games, whichever one's probably more pressing, we're going to be popping in on that for sure. So
100% on that game. I believe that I called Notre Dame having it, and I'm going to go so far as to be bold and call the over on that as well. I think that is the game that we're going to get out of it, whether that is the script or what the boys do. I think that is the game that us, the viewers, see played out in front of them, and I am not opposed to it.
I'd love to see a shootout. Yeah, I really would, but I just don't want to see Notre Dame win. I'm sorry.
Now, I will say that game is going to be on ABC, which I shouldn't have to say since every game for Notre Dame has been on ABC for 100 years or whatever.
Forever. Yeah.
What game we got next year that you want to cover?
I think rolling into the 2:30 time slot Central Time, of course. I'm looking at that Auburn Aggies. Let's talk about that. That's your 2:30 game on ESPN. The line on that game when we made our picks was 6.5. Texas A&M is favored, and the over/under was 52.5 points. Forrest, what are you thinking about the Auburn Tigers and the Aggies going at it?
That game's being played at Texas A&M, correct?
Yep. Texas A&M.
I like Texas A&M in this game.
Okay.
I don't know about the over/under though. I don't like what I've seen out of Auburn's offense the past couple of weeks. That's what makes me hesitate there. But I do like Texas A&M in this game, especially being a home game. It is a tough place to play. I'm sure anybody that's played there can probably say that. So,
What about you, dude?
This game, I would like to be rooting for the Auburn Tigers, but I do think that the Aggies pull this one out. I think this one's going over, though, for sure.
Wow, you're expecting some points put up, huh?
I think so. I think Coleman, he's got to put another watch on that wrist. He can fit probably 2 or 3 more. He's got to really show out. I think Jackson Arnold is getting them sea legs under him. He had what might end up being his toughest game against Oklahoma this past week. There's a lot of bad blood there that had to do some mental stuff to him. He held out. I think it's a building program, and I think hands down the weakest point in that program is the offensive line. And I think if someone could just magically, give them a good tush-push guy in there or something, then we've got a whole different team, and that is absolutely what everyone's talking about. Unfortunately, those changes don't magically happen, even though we are in the NIL portal days. So we're keeping that A&M lock.
So you're going to find out a lot about Auburn in this game. To me, just because of what happened so much last week, you can either forget about that, move on, and play totally, what you're supposed to do in this game. And that's what they better do, because if they get caught up from the past here, it's not going to be a good day for them, I don't think.
I'm in agreement with that. Let's we want to roll into the LSU game.
Yeah. I think that's going to be the game of the midday there. I think that is going to be some shooting.
let me start this one off though. So I have some news that I assume everyone in the nation will be aware of within just a few hours, and I assume a good many people already know. But are you aware that one of my favorite defensive players, Mr. Wiki from the LSU Tigers, is now currently taking the game to what I would say is the next mental step, playing that 5D chess, if you were. He is now dating Lane Kiffin's daughter and announced it this game week by putting him out.
I indeed did see the picture.
Oh, you did? You said?
I did.
Oh man, that is some spy shit right there, right?
I think
you got
covert.
Even comment bet the over. I think he put it on there.
Ooh-wee.
It was pretty wild. I would expect nothing less from Lane Kiffin.
Well, I mean, going back to it, I will say a lot of the Auburn's secondary defense has really shown out and surprised me. I mean, they've usually got a good defense. They're pretty fast. LSU traditionally has had a good defense. Their core, however, they are solid this year, and they're looking better and better to me as well. I think Nuss needs to get his stuff together and kind of get that mental sharpness that he needs to, and we'll see them become the Tigers that they need to be. But it is going to be a game. I still have my money on the Tigers at this point. I think it's too early of a game. As Lane Kiffin said, he never gets the good games at night where he can really get that home field advantage to come play out for him. I think that maybe Lane is a little shook up that he's got this barbarian on the LSU Tigers known for destroying people that now has his daughter. And I don't want to use the word destroying, but those are so once again, 2:30 game. That'll be the ABC game that rolls on after Notre Dame's showing. The line on that was 2.5 points in favor of Ole Miss, and the over/under was 55.5 points. Like I said, sticking with my lock in there, LSU, go Tigers all the way. Fun note on this was one of the more expensive tickets this week, with the cheapest tickets being $218 on Monday And when I just checked, they were $248.
Oh wow, went up. Yeah.
Yep. So, anybody got anything else to add on the whole Ole Miss Rebels and LSU Tiger Note?
Yeah, I think Ole Miss is going to win this game.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I like what you said about LSU and their defense, and I think their defense has looked really good. It's
Mm-hmm.
the offense I think has surprised a lot of people because you really thought they were going to put more points on the board, especially with Nussmeier there, which
There
he
were a
is a
lot of
good quarterback.
people.
But they've been leaning on their defense though in these games. I mean, Florida, who I know has a good defense, but not very good this year. They didn't score a lot of points in that. So maybe they will. They'll find it today. Maybe I don't know, but I'm taking Ole Miss here.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm going to stick to my guns for Monday. I still think LSU wins this game. I do think it's a shootout, though. I think you're going to see some really good defense, but I think you're going to see some really good offense, too. I just think this is going to be one of the good games we've been waiting for this year. I think you're going to see some swinging and some punching. Like you said, separation Saturday. Maybe Nuss takes a little step, and we really start to talk about him in the Heisman run, that kind of deal.
Could be a step backwards.
Well, it's going to be one or the other.
I hope not.
I mean, I don't think this is one of your moot gray, who cares games to watch. I think this is going to be,
This is a
big
lot you
plays,
gotta watch.
chunks. Yeah.
This needs
So,
to be a Heisman moment type of game for him.
well, I feel like nobody's really giving me a Heisman moment this year. I feel like there's a couple names that have been thrown out there. There's some guys that are playing well that'll show flashes here or there, but there is absolutely no clear-cut Heisman candidate for me right now. Mateer's got hurt, all this stuff. He hasn't played well. I have not been impressed with who's out there right now.
Hurt in the second week there with the
Yeah.
shoulder, although he's starting to look better now. But
Right.
I mean, just like you said, we're not getting what we would like to see necessarily. I would say the better Heisman performances are coming out of the tier 2 Heisman candidates, the ones who are very, very much on the periphery, and you're like, well, they'll elevate if everybody else fails, and now we kind of have this whole central core slowly
Bringing it
sinking.
down a little bit.
So it's not a 5-10 man race, it's a 10-20 man race now.
Right.
But I think that's going to get ironed out very quickly over this week and next week.
Next week
we'll have it down to about 8 people that are truly in the running. But let's go ahead and go on to the next game here. Keep it on time.
Yeah. Let's see. We got another banger, I think. We got the Oregon Ducks, number 6, at the Penn State Nittany Lions. This is going to be your 6:30 game. It is on NBC and Peacock. The line on this, 3.5 Penn State, and the over/under 52.5.
I think the line's now actually shifted in favor of Oregon, but
really?
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah,
we play off of what our Monday predictions were for all this. So,
well, there you go. There's been some talk this week to make that shift because that's a big difference.
Yeah,
but I'm sticking with what I got, man. I think Oregon comes out here and I'm not going to say just blows out Penn State, but I think there's some points put up. I don't think Penn State's better than Oregon. I don't think they should be ranked above Oregon, but that's just me little opiniono here. I like Dan Lanning. I think he's a good coach, and I think they're going to go into Pennsylvania and hurt some feelings today. So I'm going to stick with what I said. Oregon, I'm taking the over, and apparently, if I know what the line was, I'm pretty sure they're going to cover it as long as it's not over 10 points.
I think it's 4 points right now, but I mean, I'm keeping where I was at. I was hardcore Nittany State Lions Monday. I'm still right there. I think that Penn State has it handedly. I think that they come out. They absolutely have the over of 52.5 points for this 6:30 NBC Peacock game that in some markets will also be shown on Fox. I wanted to make a quick little nerd note on this. I just said that it will be on NBC, Peacock, and Fox. Normally you don't have it on competing networks. But due to the amount of money put into this game and some weird agreements that Nike has, it's on a lot more TV screens and going to have a lot more eyeballs than any other game. That being said, if you remember, this also was the most expensive game we had, with the tickets being like $415, $416, I think, on
Correct.
Monday.
Yep.
Now they're almost $500. I'm just saying, this is a game. The LSU Ole Miss game is obviously more close to home for anybody in the SEC region. I would say this game is probably going to have the most national eyeballs upon it, and this is absolutely going to be a game to watch. I think that like I said, still maintaining the original thing. Penn State covers the original line. That's 3.5 points. I think that they handedly win this. I don't think it's going to be double-digit points or anything at all like that, but I absolutely think there will be a touchdown difference, and Penn State will pull away. And then this will be the game that solidifies Penn State deserving that ranked spot. And Oregon shifting down a little bit in the polls. Obviously, it's not going to knock them off of there. And then I think Notre Dame can take 5 more losses before they're off the top 25.
I will say this about Penn State here. So they either need to win this game against Oregon or beat Ohio State later in their season, because it seems like with them, they just can't ever get over that hump of beating a top 10 team. They're always in the mix there, and they get a lot of wins every season. But I think it's kind of become like the monkey on their back. Hey, you can't just finish out and beat that top 5 team, that you're supposed to. And they got the opportunity here today. I like Oregon in this just for that reason. Penn State's going to have to show it to me, but it's going to be at Penn State. So they got that going for them. Love their running back. I think they got all the talent in the world to do it. So we'll see.
I'm glad that you said that. The kind of historical, we'll say, showing that Penn State puts out there, it is something that I have noticed. They don't seem to have any challenging teams, and then they'll face their big team and they'll kind of crumble, and then they get off. However, if you've noticed, when they faced a bigger team earlier in the season, it's the exact opposite. Those are the only seasons that they've maintained through there. I don't know if it's a mental thing, if it's just one of them fluke coincidences, but it's something to put back in your pocket. Now we're getting not early season, but we're early mid-season right now. So I don't know if that logic still applies here, but I would like to see them do this. I discount them very frequently, and I would like to have them validate the position that they have right now and keep it where Big 10 has some power, Big 12 has some power. That way you've got everybody engaged in the conversation.
Right.
And I think that being said, we can roll into the next game that in the state of Alabama and the state of Georgia will definitely be the most important game going on. So go rob your banks today. We got the number 17 Alabama Crimson Tide, and they are going to be on the road against them dogs. That would be the number 5 Georgia Bulldogs.
Who's that coming down the track? I don't know. Let's see.
You gonna start bargaining?
Yeah, this is where we need Coach to come in here.
Yeah, Coach would be good for this segment, wouldn't he? Easy pick for me. I will never pick against Alabama, even if Vegas says that Alabama will absolutely lose. It's Bama, baby. Roll Tide. Let's see. We're on ABC. Those tickets were high as hell too. When we looked on Monday, they were $394. I'm sure that they've gone up along with those Oregon tickets too. And I've actually got a friend attending in some good seats, and he told me how much they paid for those bad boys, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch from the couch here, pal. Thanks, enjoy. But yeah, picking Alabama. The spread on that deal on Monday was Georgia 2.5, and the over/under was 53.5. I'm still taking Bama. I'm still taking the over. I think we're going to see some points today. As good as Kirby Smart's defense is always capable, I think Ty Simpson does well. And from what I hear, Jan Miller's supposed to be playing. So.
Indeed.
Now, we have had some injuries. I think Tuesday we had a foot injury, and Wednesday we had someone that had a back strain. I think they're just out for this week. That'd be backup center and one of the tackles, I believe, that might come into play here. Now, I will say Georgia, their tackle is not going to be playing.
That's right.
But his backup is better than him. I'm just saying, as one of the few people that probably gets granular and really likes watching the big, I mean, probably half of my highlights are literally watching linemen hit linemen and not, ballerinas dance in the air for balls or whatever. And
I think that really just hurts your rotation and keeping people fresh, right? When you have somebody really good as your backup like that, I'm assuming that's what really gets you.
That's the thing right there. It's forcing somebody
to stay out there longer or, winded.
I think that's what it comes down to, is going to be that fatigue. That's why I think we're going to see them start to fade as we get into those later stretches of the game. And my big question here is going to be, is that pass protection going to hold well enough for Stockton to get off what he needs to get off in the fourth quarter for this game to pull out in Georgia's favor? This is one of the very few games this week that I didn't want to touch at all or put any money down on, just because I think there is a high number of variables here. And this, to me, is probably the most engaging game in terms of me not feeling confident in the outcome and being thoroughly entertained the whole time. So this will round out my three-piece, we'll say, as we're going through there. And this game, more than any other, will probably have my eyeballs just to see what I need to see from each individual player on the teams and assess fully what they're capable of down the road. And then also just because this is going to be a hell of a game, and I am really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think everybody looks forward to Georgia, Bama. It's a banger, man. It always is. So what are you thinking, Rista? I'm pretty damn excited.
I've gone back and forth on this game because I feel like it can go so many ways. Talking about Heisman moments, both of these quarterbacks I think are very capable of having Heisman moments. If they get in the groove. I'm gonna go Alabama here in a close one.
What a surprise! The two Alabama fans.
Yeah, I know. Well, I was leaning Georgia at one point this week, so I'm gonna stick with Alabama here. I really think their receivers are some of the best in the country, and I know Georgia did struggle with Tennessee a little bit with them throwing on them, but we'll see.
I think Georgia absolutely needs to maintain momentum, and I think they need to have more points on the board at halftime if they want to pull this game out in the long run. So I think if Alabama is ahead at halftime, I think we might be looking at a situation where, okay, well, looks like we know who the winner's going to be. I think if Georgia's ahead, I think we're still going to have a game, and I think that, like I said, it's going to come down to just that very crucial position right there on the front line. That wears down just enough to start giving that aggressive Alabama inner D that penetration they need.
So I want to bring this up just real quick because I heard it this week. So you know what Georgia's ranked in sacks this year so far? It's like 110th or so. It's way down there. I think they really need to disrupt Ty Simpson in this game, just because the way he's looked over I know it's not been against good competition, but if he stays on rhythm, I think he's shown that he can be put the ball on the line there. So they need to find a way to get to him, I think.
Maybe they can borrow one of Oklahoma's boys.
Yeah, sure.
Well, there you have it. I'm taking Bama. Let's go, baby. Roll Tide.
All right, folks. That was our good morning wrap up. Wake up with Sports Ball Talk, whatever jazz you want to call it. Hope you got your picks locked in if you're a gambler. Hope you enjoyed it if you're just here for entertainment. We will be watching sports ball throughout the day. And the game,
a good one.
We're going to be stepping in at halftime to give our analysis of it, keep you updated on what else is going out there, because we're all going to be watching different games and have multiple things going on. And happy football Saturday.
See you guys at halftime, baby.
Yes,
Roll
sir.
Tide.
Roll Tide.